Hello everybody, my name is Jeffrey Caney, and this assignment is about finding maybe rather unusual cancellations in event history and within the last 3 months. So the event I picked would be Iggy Azalea's tour that she ended up canceling due to some rather vulgar words that were brought up from her past on Twitter. We're going to go a little more in depth in that and see what they could do to fix it, or what they did do to fix it, which I can tell you right now wasn't much. Looking a little bit into Iggy Azalea's background, she's, if you don't know, a popular singer who sings pop music with a huge crowd draw. Last year she won, I think, about 5-6 huge awards. Her biggest year ever was last year in 2015, and her smash hit Fancy was #1 on billboards for a really extended amount of time, and kept her career really at its peak. But after some off-color comments on Twitter, things about started going the opposite way for her. She's been on the decline ever since, and so far her stock price is at the lowest it's ever been. Taking a look at her current situation, she is on the decline, like I said before, and these hurtful comments that she spoke about on Twitter seem to keep coming back to haunt her, even though they are much in the past. And it seems to obviously have hurt her career to a point where she can't bounce back. I think a lot of that is just because she seems to be oblivious to why others are not accepting of her narrow views. And even though she's had a few statements coming out and saying that she's sorry and apologizes for those things she said as a young person, many people still believe she feels that way and that these apologies are just too little too late. Now looking at her current cancellations, her first tour was scrapped. A huge arena tour that was set for 2016 was scrapped because the tickets just can't get sold. She can't dig herself out of this social media disaster she's found herself in because of these hurtful comments that she's made in the past that keep getting brought up. Next, another high-profile gig was canceled after an LGBT sponsor decided to drop her because of these comments she's made on social media. The low amount of ticket sales first made her postpone the event, and then she decided she has no choice but to cancel due to low ticket sales. Now I think a lot of this is due to her inability to seem to talk back to her fans and let her fans know that she may not feel this way early on. For a long time she seemed to just ignore it and wait for it to pass, when it seems like in the past with other artists it always seems to get right on top of the ball and make sure everyone knows how you really feel, even though you may have made incorrect statements in the past. This is something that she wasn't able to do. As you can see, I put up here a few of the quotes that she put up there, maybe as an apology, but old words die hard, and too little too late are two of the biggest problems with her whole social media campaign, because it really is lacking one at all. Now, my proposed solution, because so far there doesn't even seem to be one, other than a few statements that she's released on her Twitter and publicly, there's no way for her to make up these canceled events. These things are just going to have to be a dent in her pocketbook. The only way that she's going to be able to make it up is show support in some other way than just her music. It needs to be in the form of a gift or a song, or maybe a whole other event, perhaps, to gain them back as, you know, 1 customers and 2 supporters and 3 sponsors, because she seems to be losing all of those within that community. So she needs to make it up in some way or another, more than just apology. So thank you very much for listening. These are my references here, and I really learned a lot during this one, because I had not even heard about this in the news, necessarily on cable, about this going on, and it's really fun and interesting, because I remember last year being a huge year for her, and I haven't really heard about her since, so this may explain some of that. Trying to